Sleepers, breakouts, and busts at shortstop. Up next on Fantasy Baseball Today Express. Welcome into FBT Express on Monday, February 10th. I am Frank Stampfl, joined by Scott White. We are going to talk sleepers, breakouts, and busts at the shortstop position. And Scott, we will start with a sleeper at shortstop.
Bo Bichette is my sleeper at shortstop, and you may wonder, how have we arrived at a point where we can call Bo Bichette a sleeper? Everybody knows who Bo Bichette is. Well, they're not acting like it. Based on ADP, he's going around pick 140. And this is a guy who, since the time he arrived in the majors, has been a consensus early rounder. As recently as last year, Bo Bichette was being taken in round 3. And now he has one misstep. Bad year. He was playing through injury the whole time, hit 225. It was a bad year. But the track record leading it up to it, Bo Bichette had never hit less than 290 in a major league season, even with the bad year last year. Career 290 batting average. He had been... The home runs had been kind of up and down. The steals had kind of gone away, but that batting average was always there. Bo Bichette was as safe a source for it as they get. And because of one misstep in an injury-prone year, everybody's bailing on him. It doesn't make sense to me. He's only 27. I expect he's going to bounce back in a big way, probably bounce back completely. And if I am looking to if I'm imagining what the most optimal draft where I maximize the value of every pick looks like, if I'm imagining that draft, it has Bo Bichette as my shortstop.
Yeah, and probably Jordan Westburg at second base and Isaac Paredes at third base, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, I got to pick somebody in the early rounds, but it would be somewhere else.
Yeah. Sleeper for me is going to be Dansby Swanson. The ADP is 186.5. Had a bit of a down season, but actually ran more than usual. 19 steals were a career high. Turns out he needed core surgery after the season, and it was something he was playing through for a while. He had the surgery in early October, expected to be a full go for spring training, and I'm expecting the power to bounce back a little bit. He's usually around 20 home runs, Dansby Swanson, so you couple that with he started running a little bit. I think there's an outside chance he can go 2020, maybe close to that, in an improved Cubs lineup. They trade for Kyle Tucker, Matt Shaw, top prospect supposed to be up. They've got Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ in that lineup. So I'm expecting good things for the Cubs all around. I think Swanson bounces back, and you're getting a 75 pick discount from where his ADP was this time last year. So Dansby Swanson, a sleeper for me. Scott, over to you for a breakout.
So I like the value of Dansby Swanson. I like the value of a lot of shortstops. And so I don't know that I want to force it with a breakout here. I'm going to kind of give you a second sleeper, and you could call it a breakout if you want. But Carlos Correa, he kind of rebroke out last year in a way that flew under the radar because he missed much of the second half battling plantar fasciitis. And it's unfortunate because he was having a huge season. He had 3.33 head-to-head points per game, which is basically as good as Trey Turner on a per-game basis in points leagues, was Carlos Correa. The batting average for him was over 300. The OPS was, I believe it was over 900. I had the numbers pulled up, but now I lost them.
Yeah, over 900.
Batting average 310, OPS 905. It was huge. And it was, it was necessary because it felt like his fantasy value had tanked. The year before, he had hit 230 with a 711 OPS. Performance concerns there added on to injury concerns. He needed that bounce back last year, and he gave it to us. But because he got hurt, nobody's giving him credit for it. Yeah, he's an injury risk, but he played 135 games or more each of the previous 3 seasons. That's enough for a guy going as late as he is, outside pick 230. I think on a per-game basis, Carlos Correa is going to be great for you, and I think you'll be surprised how many games he actually plays for you.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
Gives it to Jenkins for the championship. A
From sweet to elite to the Final Four.
Welcome back in Fantasy Baseball Today Express. We are talking breakouts at shortstop. And for me, it's going to be Mason Wynn. He has an ADP right around 195. Last year, 15 home runs, 85 runs, 11 steals. Solid rookie season for Mason Wynn, but he makes a lot of contact. He got moved up to the leadoff spot in June, should lead off once again for the Cardinals this upcoming season. And the hope here is that he starts to run more. 87th percentile sprint speed, lots of steals in the minors, 43 steals back in 2022, 32 back in 2021. He did that with good success rates. And there are quotes from Mason Wynn this offseason where he says he wants to run more. He says the goal is to steal 30 to 40 bases this upcoming season. We know steals are mostly based on intent, but if he wants to do it, he's fast enough. He's going to hit for a good batting average. Yeah, I think we can get a 15 to 20 homer, 30 steal season out of Mason Wynn, which would make him a breakout this season. Scott, over to you for a bust at shortstop.
Willy Adames is my choice. Willy Adames was a top 15 player overall last year. And to a certain extent, the regression is being priced in already because was top 15 is going around 65th. It's not enough. It's not enough of a downgrade. You look at where Willy Adames was being drafted in previous years. It was much lower. It was like 130s and beyond. And I think he's still fundamentally the same player despite what happened last year. I think Willy Adames just had one of those magical 90th percentile outcome type of seasons where he sets career highs in every category, which is basically what he did, but without any notable skills change. You look at the StatCast data for Willy Adames, it's been virtually the same 4 straight years. Last year wasn't an exception. I think he was the same player. He just got better results. And even if he was still in Milwaukee, I would expect him to regress to numbers closer to the norm. But he's in San Francisco, which might exacerbate the issue. It's a tougher place to hit. He might go from having career best numbers to some of the worst numbers we've seen from Willy Adames in a long time, at least. So 65th is too high, and he might just be. He might not even live up to a top 100 pick, to be honest.
Yeah, we're in complete agreement on Willy Adames. If I had to throw one other name out there, I'm not completely comfortable with this, but O'Neal Cruz, he just feels slightly overvalued. You know, he hasn't hit that big breakout potential yet. I still think that he has that. You know, maybe he gets to it at some point, but strikeouts are still really bad, struggles against left-handed pitching. So, you know, last year the ADP was around 60 for O'Neal Cruz. Now he's inside the top 50. Is that deserved? I would say no, and if the ADP stays there, I'm probably not going to wind up with O'Neal Cruz this season. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to our full-length podcast, Fantasy Baseball Today, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today Express, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.